This Social Security measure gives at least some protection to 30 millions of our citizens who will reap direct benefits through unemployment compensation, through old age pensions, and through increased services for protection of children and the prevention of ill health.
The Social Security Act of 1935, a cornerstone of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal agenda, was designed to ease the burden of old age by providing a continuing income for those 65 and older and those unemployed. At the time, the program was limited in scope, but FDR offered comforting words to a nation emerging from its worst economic crisis in history, the Great Depression. The program was originally designed as a pay-as-you-go, self-funding trust fund, with equal contributions being made by both the employer and the employee. The first Social Security check was issued on January 31, 1940, to Ida Mae Fuller, an unmarried schoolteacher and legal secretary. Fuller only worked 3 years under the new Social Security law, earning her a monthly check in the amount of $22.54. The plan remains essentially the same today, but the system has a rocky road ahead. Almost 10,000 baby boomers turn 65 each day. The famed generation has impacted the workforce, the economy, and the future of Social Security. Still, since its beginning, millions of Americans have and continue to benefit from the program. Deciding when to take Social Security is one of the most important financial decisions you will make in retirement.
Welcome to Retire Vivid. I'm Karen McCarty. That's Tommy Breitbach. And today is on Social Security. Probably one of the biggest decisions that people are going to be making when it comes to retirement. The question is when you do it. So this is on only Social Security. Tommy, I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, it's a big topic. You know, it's becoming a more important decision as, you know, kind of pension days and guaranteed sources of income are becoming fewer and far between. So it's really important you sit down and review all your options and make the best decision for you.
I mean, you know, there's a stat, I thought this was interesting. We have 73 million people. I mean, think about that. 73 million people that will be age 65 by 2030. I mean, the baby boom generation is one of the largest generations. And they're going to change Social Security just like they've changed everything else, because a lot of these people are beginning to take their Social Security benefit.
Retirement is not necessarily what it was in the past.
Right.
You know, people are living longer, they're healthier, life expectancies. You're looking at, you know, for those that tend to make it to that Social Security claiming age, you know, you can live 10, 15, 20, 25 years and have a long, happy retirement and be active.
Right.
It becomes a big, important decision.
Well, think about Ida Mae Fuller, right? I mean, our viewers just saw a video ahead of time. I mean, so she started her Social Security when she was 65 years old. I mean, think about this in terms of her time. And she was pulling in, Tommy, $22.54 a month. What a deal, right? What a deal. She lived to be 100 years old. She pulled out almost $23,000 over her lifetime.
I mean, she broke the bank.
She broke the bank, especially when she only put in almost $25. That was it.
Yeah,
that's a lottery ticket.
I mean, she was the exception. She was the exception, not the norm back then.
That's right.
And her situation, you know, is becoming increasingly more common, where you are seeing those long retirement, long life expectancy.
And that kind of builds into what it was and what it is today. I mean, the pension days are basically over. I mean, you know, if you think about it, I mean, for people that are federal employees, they get a pension. If you have IPERS, good for you, you get a pension. But most people don't. They have their Social Security and they have their 401k IRA that they're probably gonna have to live on, you know, for the rest of their life. The question is, Tommy, and that's what this episode's all about. When do I file my Social Security? Because it's a retirement paycheck for life.
We are seeing fewer people especially in the private sector, getting the pension eligibility. A lot of companies are getting away from that and going all 401k route. And so when we look at it, when we sit down, retirement is not an asset problem, it becomes an income problem. So how do we take the Social Security claiming decision, pair it with the assets, your retirement accounts, your maybe non-retirement accounts? How do we marry all those things together and put a plan and figure out what makes sense for you?
Work with a team. I mean, that's what it's all about. Surround yourself with a team of professionals that have done this before, that have walked that path, So for example, so many times what we see is people would go to their tax preparer, maybe see them once a year, and that's really about it during tax season. And then you leave. Then you go to see your financial advisor to help you with your investments or your overall retirement plan. It's a whole separate building. And then you leave, and then you go to an attorney to help you with your wills, trust, power of attorneys. But the question I have for our viewers is, are these professionals talking to each other? Are they collaborating as one? A lot of times the answer is no.
It is true that, all of those are individual decisions. So your tax situation, investing, estate, but it's very important to get all those pieces working together. Later we'll get into the tax benefit with your Social Security benefit. And then you're looking at retirement accounts. You have, if they're traditional or pre-tax, they're 100% taxable coming out, and then making sure assets go where you want them to go when you're no longer here. Right. That's your voice. Your estate plan is your voice. And so it's very important to put all those pieces together, evaluate everything you have, and work forward from there.
But you know what though, Tommy? I mean, this is just on Social Security alone. And so, it really, we shouldn't even be doing this episode if you think about it, because Social Security is a federal program. You can go anywhere you want to go in terms of when you want to file for your Social Security. But this is right out of the handbook. Their procedure manual. Take a look at this. Option D, provide enough information so claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. And again, it's unfortunate. I think that's a better word to use here, because again, they can't ask you those questions about health insurance, retirement income, taxes, you name it. They're saying, hey, what's the order? And we'll execute on that.
Yep, yeah, and they're able to provide, information specific to Social Security. And that's why if there are questions or you're not finding the resources you need, why working with a professional can help put kind of all those, wrap everything up in a bow, put all that together for you.
Yeah, that's right. Now, so let's dive in a little bit here. So first thing we got to know is, what are we dealing with when it comes to Social Security? So I encourage everybody to go to ssa.gov. There's 3 different ways that you can access online. And so I like the ID Me. It's an easy way to get access, because the one thing we're looking for is all, first off, how much you're going to receive for Social Security, but more importantly, how much you're going to get at full retirement age.
So your full retirement age is ranging from, for those individuals getting close, it will be between 66 and 67. In between there, you have, 66 and 2 months, 4 months. You have options in between there. But anybody born after 1960 will be 67 as their full retirement age. And that's where you get 100% of that Social Security benefit. Before that, age-based reduction. After that, delayed retirement credits. Plenty of options to evaluate within there. But we need to know where we are before we start.
Exactly. So for you and I, for example, we're past 1960. So ours is 60. I know we're young, I guess. So our age would be 67. But the one thing that we like to talk about is need versus want. Do you need Social Security or do you want Social Security? If you need it, go get it. You have a lifestyle you need to maintain. But for people that maybe have been good savers within their 401k plan, now we're looking at a want, right? Meaning that, okay, do we bridge a gap, with our 401k asset to get a larger Social Security? I'm not saying that's for everybody. Because how many times do we know of somebody, Tommy, where they retired and maybe a year later they passed away?
They do pass away, and it's very important. It's a very unfortunate situation. But as you're evaluating this, you evaluate where your health situation at. Is there longevity or not longevity on your side?
Right.
But kind of getting all those pieces together and deciding what makes sense based on your financial situation.
That's exactly right. What makes sense for you? Next, we're going to talk about the milestones when it comes to Social Security, so make sure you stay with us right after the break.
Do you have questions about your retirement plan, or do you want to know if you are on the right track? We are here to help. Simply go to retirevivid.com or call the number below to schedule a 15-minute retirement review. You can speak with us about taxes, Social Security, your 401k, or any quick retirement questions at no cost to you. We are here to make retirement vivid. Schedule your 15-minute retirement review today.
Welcome back. We're talking about Social Security, and we're now moving into the milestones in terms of your decision-making process when it comes to your own benefit. So Tommy, let's dive into this, because age 60 is really where we begin for people that have lost a loved one.
So there's a widow or widower benefit eligible at age 60. So you've lost a spouse or an ex-spouse, and you have not remarried. A couple kind of criteria in there to meet.
Sure.
But eligible for that survivor benefit at age 60. And that's one we run into people may not be familiar with. So if that situation applies, definitely get some information, ask some questions about that.
Absolutely, you should, because I think a lot of people that have lost a loved one, I mean, a lot of them that I bumped into think that they have to wait till age 62, and that's not true at all. You know, there was a bill that was passed called the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015 that actually kept the survivor benefit. They got rid of all the cool stuff, you know, the restricted application, file and suspend, but it is what it is. But again, for people who have lost a loved one, look at your options. And again, whether you're single, married, divorced, or widowed, I mean, everybody does have a different option.
So the window for typical workers' benefits runs from age 62 to age 70. First segment, we mentioned your full retirement age. So whenever that is, 66, 66 and 8 months, 67. At age 62, you are eligible for a benefit, and it comes with an age-based reduction, depending what full retirement age is for you.
Right.
You know, your age-based reduction at 62 is typically in the range of 70 to 75% of that full retirement age benefit.
And the big one that I want to talk about is the earnings test. So again, folks, please, for those of you that are paying attention right now, make sure you follow us on this. This is the earnings test. Beware. If you take your Social Security anytime prior to full retirement age, you go through the earnings test. So let's just give an example. Let's say we have a husband and wife, and let's say that the wife retires. She takes her Social Security at 62. She knows about the age-based reduction. Fine. The husband's still working because we all need health insurance. But the kicker is she's done working. She took her Social Security. A couple years later, Tommy, she's going, wow, I am bored. Wants to do some substitute teaching or whatever it may be. And she starts bringing in W-2 income. Walk them through the earnings test.
Important part, it's W-2 or earned income.
Right.
It's not the Social Security benefit that you have on, or IRA, pension, any of those distributions. It is earned income. So prior to the year you obtain full retirement age, your earnings test amount is $22,320.
Right.
In that first year you file, whether it is at 62 or it's 63 and 6 months, wherever you're at, it is not income that you have earned up until that point. They don't look at those. They look at the monthly or annual amount from the time you file through the end of that first calendar year, and then after that it's annually.
That's it. I'm glad you mentioned that. I hope you all are following along with what he's saying here. And again, if you have questions on this, this is also why we offer a 15-minute retirement review to walk you through these important decisions that you'll be making during your time, your own retirement journey. Okay, Tommy. Now that's from for 62, and then in full retirement age, it increases pretty dramatically.
Yeah, so the calendar year you obtain full retirement age, that earnings test amount goes up to $59,520. Quick example of that, if your full retirement age is 66 or 67, it's pretty easy to know when you turn. But if you are 66 and 6 months, your birthday is in October, well, your full retirement age is not the year you turn 66, it's that next April when you get that 66 and 6 months. So you have from January 1st of that year until the month you hit full retirement age to get up to that expanded, that 59,520 amount. So quite a bit of income available in the year you obtain full retirement age. And then once you are full retirement age, that earnings amount goes unlimited.
Unlimited, that's right. Because a lot of people might bump into somebody that's still working maybe, and they're on their Social Security. Well, I'd venture to say they're older than full retirement age. But you still go through tax. It
is taxable, yep. And so it within the earnings test, they determine if you're above it. If you're prior to the year you turn full retirement age, for every $2 you give $1 back. In the year you obtain full retirement age, for every $3 you give $1 back.
Yep.
And so it's that money's not gone. It's recalculated when you hit full retirement age. It's paid back to you over a period of time.
But let's not do that. Right? Let's not do that.
If we can turn maybe some of that part-time income into volunteer hours, let's stay away from the.
Let's just say when you retire, just retire, right?
Be retired.
I mean, of course, there's people that work because they want to, not because they have to, right? But next is after full retirement age, you get a wonderful delayed retirement credit, 8% a year. That's not a bad rate of return on your money.
That's a pretty good guaranteed rate.
What's the kicker though?
Well, you're waiting.
You gotta wait to get it. You gotta wait to get it.
It's that delay factor.
That's right.
But yes, it's for those, we can get into different reasons on why somebody would delay, but those who are looking at delaying from full retirement age to age 70, you get that 8% delayed retirement credit per year. That's a good number. At age 70, that stops. Yeah. So I know you if we run into that person.
What we usually tell people is if we ever bump into somebody that has not taken their Social Security and they're past 70, you're just missing out. So we will drive you to the administration ourselves and let's get it going.
We're going today.
We're going today. I mean, the milestones are important because there's important decisions. Now, one thing we did not talk about, which is a whole nother episode, is Medicare. Again, we're not going to talk a lot about that today because this is on Social Security. The only thing I want to say about Medicare is that they are two different animals, meaning that if you file for Social Security, it doesn't mean you have to file for Medicare and vice versa. So
you are eligible if you are still working and under what they consider creditable coverage, that you can delay Medicare, even if you do file for that Social Security benefit.
That's right. That's right. Well, this was pretty good. This is pretty good. So next, we're going to talk about one of my favorites, and that's the taxation of Social Security with different filing options. So make sure you stay with us right after the break. I'm Cameron McCarty, talk show host, financial advisor, and business owner.
Did you know Cameron is happily married, raising 4 kids, thinks he's a news anchor?
I don't know about that one.
But did you also know he helps people get retirement ready? He can help you too.
That's why I'm coming to you on the weekends, getting you answers to your retirement questions.
Don't miss him on Retire Vivid, every weekend on ABC.
Welcome back. So we're talking about the final piece when it comes to Social Security planning, and it's the taxation of Social Security. Because Tommy, you get a tax preference with your Social Security compared to maybe like a traditional IRA or a 401k.
Yeah, it's one of the best kept secrets of, kind of the retirement planning or Social Security planning steps is that you have control or some flexibility around your tax situation when you're claiming Social Security and different sources of income.
Right, because if you think about it, in terms of, people, in terms of their largest assets, usually it's their home and it's their 401k IRA asset, right? And so, but they are taxed differently. So when you take a look at an IRA 401k, That is taxed as ordinary income. You got that tax deduction going in throughout all these years, but on the flip side, you have to pay 100% ordinary income tax versus Social Security, where you claim half of it, which is a big deal. You only claim half, and it goes through a provisional income formula.
Yeah, so that provisional income formula you mentioned, you take half your Social Security benefit, and then essentially all other sources of income, including what you would have as non-taxable interest, if you have that. It goes through the calculation and it determines what percent of your Social Security benefit is taxable. So, maximum you're paying is 85% of your Social Security benefit is taxable, but you have control to bring that percentage down, depending on sources of income.
You also have control within the traditional IRA as well, too, and maybe potentially the 401k for people that haven't rolled it out yet. But one thing I love talking about is the tax code. And under the tax code, there's different sections in there. I like Title 26. Title 26, Section 401k, for example, 403b, TSP, whatever line of work you're in. But the one that I really like talking about is Title 26, Section IRA. So when for our viewers that are listening, a lot of people know it as an individual retirement account, right? But under the tax code, that's not what it is. It's actually called an individual retirement arrangement, right? I wonder who the arrangement's with.
Tricky.
I wonder who the arrangement's with. But Tommy, walk our viewers through, usually what we see an IRA used for.
Yeah, so, typically you have your IRA account, and it is providing that income. You have your withdrawal rate or supplementing income. So, a good portion of it's used for income, and then we run into medical. You have health insurance, expenses come up. You have unplanned, you need that new roof, the new car, whatever happens.
Life happens.
Life happens.
Yep.
And then what's left is going to beneficiaries or kids or whoever you designate.
Right, going to kids, right. So
what happens when we need a little bit more income?
Yeah, well, love you kids, right?
Don't love you that much.
Don't love you that much. And then, Tommy, people think about, remember the arrangement. Meaning it's not all of yours, it's also theirs. Spell theirs. The
IRS.
Right.
Theirs.
Well, we'll see if anybody's laughing. I thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, it's not all of yours, it's also theirs. And so, you got to remember the taxation of it. But remember how Social Security is taxed. It is a wonderful tax preference you get with your benefit. So let's walk through some different examples here of different couples filing at different times, and not just couples. We'll do a single filer as well too, Tommy. But let's talk about this first example where we have a married couple and they need $60,000 a year.
They have delayed or have higher Social Security benefits, but they're able to get that $60,000 income need from their Social Security benefit. In this instance, it is not taxable at the state level, and also through that provisional income formula we mentioned, they will owe zero federal taxes on that $60,000 Social Security benefit.
Zero federal tax. That's pretty cool. And now again, that's showing no other income, being pushed on the tax return. Now, keep in mind, folks. When you look at Social Security, what causes it to become taxed is any additional income, if you would, W-2 income, pension income, right? All of that is what could help push additional taxation of your Social Security. So, Tommy, let's now move on to a couple A and couple B. So we have two different couples here. They both need $60,000 a year, but they took different paths to get there. Walk them through it.
Yeah, and this will highlight kind of how that provisional income and the portion of Social Security that's taxable. So couple A took or claimed Social Security earlier. So needing to get to that $60,000 annual income amount, there's $20,000 Social Security benefits, and then they supplemented with $40,000 of IRA or pre-tax distributions. So that got them to their $60,000. In this case, they owed close to $2,200 in federal taxes.
Still not a bad deal, though.
It's not a bad deal.
It's not a bad deal. So $60K, is what you needed, $5,000 a month, and so this is them taking it early. That's still not a bad federal tax bill. So now let's move on to B.
Right. So couple B had higher Social Security amounts if they delayed or just had that higher Social Security benefit. But in this case, they had $40,000 of Social Security income coming in. They only needed that 60, so they supplemented with $20,000 from an IRA, got them to that 60 amount. And in this case, they owed zero federal or state taxes, which just That's a great deal. It just
Sign me up.
It highlights the importance of marrying the income planning with tax planning and figuring out what works best for you.
Well said. I mean, I couldn't have said it any better myself. I mean, think about this, folks. I mean, again, this is the stuff. That's why we're doing this show. We want you to take different nuggets of what we're trying to do here. So when you look at this example, they both needed the same number. They just took a different route to get there. And one's paying tax versus no tax. Now, again, I don't mind paying taxes. I just don't want to pay any more than I have to. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on that.
That example can also highlight the benefits of looking at reasons to delay. If there's, that higher Social Security amount, there's less requirement to take income from those IRA assets. And also looking at in a married couple, a survivor situation, there's the lower of the two benefits goes away, the higher one continues.
Right.
So considering reasons to delay and build up that Social Security benefit to take stress off of the other assets.
Real quick here, Tommy. So that's for married couples. Let's just briefly talk about a single filer.
Yeah, single filer, still getting to that same $60,000 income need, had $35,000 Social Security benefit, supplemented with $25,000 from the IRA, get them to the 60. In this case, they owed about $2,400 in federal tax. And this is why it's so important to, have everything laid out, kind of put that plan together. You put the Social Security, you can add in the investment side and marry that with the taxes, and just put all those pieces together and, find the most efficient plan that you have available to you.
Well, that's well said, Tommy. I mean, and that's also why we're doing this show. I mean, we are here to help you, guide you, give you the tools that you need so you can make an informed decision during your own retirement journey. Now, and also keep in mind, we're on every weekend helping you get retirement ready. We'll catch you next time right here on Retire Vivid.
Do you have questions about your retirement plan, or do you want to know if you are on the right track? We are here to help. Simply go to retirevivid.com or call the number below to schedule a 15-minute retirement review. You can speak with us about taxes, Social Security, your 401k, or any quick retirement questions at no cost to you. We are here to make retirement vivid. Schedule your 15-minute retirement review today.
Thanks for watching Retire Vivid. Want to see more? Like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with exclusive Vivid content. Plus, be sure to watch our show Retire Vivid every weekend. We're here to help you get retirement ready.